Do you know what it means to be righteous? And if not, how do you become a righteous person right now, especially with 2025 right around the corner? Hey, Jason here. If you've been watching the channel, you can see me now. I'm on my 9th year as a full-time expat slash nomad. I'm in my 4th country, 3rd continent in Lusaka, Zambia, in the southern region of Africa. And I'm not only sharing with you things that I've learned along this 9-year journey, but most importantly, sharing with you in case you want to become an expat or already an expat, why you should consider Zambia as an option because of the opportunities that exist here. So in today's video, we're going to be talking more about mindset. This is something I've really been deep into for the last about 4 or 5 years. And it's something that I actually study each and every day. A lot of times people think like I'm lucky for being able to travel the world. I'm lucky for being able to move from country to country. And the truth is, it's not about luck. It's about what do you prepare your mindset for. And believe it or not, most people don't know this. One of the things that I do study is the Bible. I study a lot of different religious doctrines and a lot of different modern new psychology doctrines also. So this one comes from just 2 days ago. I was actually listening to Reverend Ike. If you do know who he is, let me know in the comments. If you're not familiar with who he is, he was a prosperity preacher. I believe he started in the 70s or 80s back in the United States in New York City. And I really like his teachings because he's not talking about the revelations, the hell and doom, you're going to hell. He talks about how to better your life. And I think this is what a lot of us are missing. No one is coming to help us. And what I mean by that is no mysterious figure or none of the UFO sightings you're seeing now. They're not coming down to help individual people. We have to help ourselves. And this is something that helped my life a lot when I really started to understand this. But today I want to talk about righteousness because let me get to the Bible quote. One of the Bible quotes that Reverend Ike was talking about in the video was, "But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." Matthew 6:33. And it was really interesting because I've heard that Bible quote many of times. But then he was like, what does it mean to be righteous? What is a righteous man? And he said to be righteous is to think correctly. And it really hit a light bulb because all the studying I've been doing and seeing how the mind is where most of us go wrong. And the mind is the one thing that we're all being manipulated by on a daily basis through entertainment. It's not to entertain us, it is to manipulate and persuade our mind to believe certain things. And I want to just dwell on that definition just a little bit more and say it is correct thinking for each individual. And the reason why I say that is we have to understand that no one can control our thoughts. No one can control our emotions. We have complete control over everything that we do. And if we think correctly about ourselves, we can only get the things that we want. Now, I'm guilty of this, and let me know if you've been guilty of this before. I used to bash myself. I used to do one of the biggest cardinal sins of saying I am, and then putting something negative behind it. Like I was like, I'm fat, I am sick, I am broke. All of these things I used to do. And even funny, I'm going to break it down even more about the righteousness with my personal journey just from the last 2 years to show you. And so now let's go to the Proverbs 21:21. Whoever pursues righteousness and love finds life, prosperity, and honor. So what that is really saying is whoever pursues correct thinking about themselves, they're able to find love. They find a meaning in life. They find that prosperity, that abundance, and they honor themselves. And also the people around you will start honoring the things that you're doing. And I thought this was really interesting because the last 2 years after Cece passed away, I stopped being a righteous person. I wasn't thinking correctly about myself. However, if you go right before she ended up passing away, transitioning, we were in like a righteous vacuum, like the vortex, how Abraham Hicks say. And what I mean by that is everything that we wanted was coming to us. At that point, we was actually getting ready to move to Vietnam. We was going to invest into Circle K gas stations. We said we wanted to double our income that was coming in. We ended up tripling it at that time. Everything was coming. Like life was living great. Like it was a really, really great time in my life. And we were happy. Like, believe it or not, like people would think like stuck in a foreign country during the pandemic, it'll be so miserable. We were enjoying life, man. Like I said in a video yesterday, like we were actually doing date days in the house, having international date days where we were cooking food together, doing all of these different things, playing games. We even set it up to where we were hosting digital games with other people around the world who just wanted to do things to break up the monotony. And it was really fun to do that. However, as soon as she passed away, my life crumbled. And it crumbled because I was no longer a righteous man. I was not thinking correctly about myself. And to think correctly about yourself is to think positive in present moment. A lot of us are focused on the future or the past, which neither one of those actually exists. You only have right now. Like when you're watching this video only exists right now. This video don't exist tomorrow. It don't exist. It didn't exist yesterday. Because guess what? If you watch this video now, tomorrow you may not be able to find it. Like we have to understand the power of positive present moment. This is what Napoleon Hill meant about positive mental attitude. It's not something that you go and find. It's something you build within yourself. Speaking positive about yourself right now, right here in this moment. And during those times, I wasn't. And most people will agree with me and be like, Jason, it's okay. You shouldn't be beating yourself up. Like, it's not about beating myself up. Like, what I want you to see is like, I'm just a testament of what was happening before while I was thinking in a righteous way. I was being a righteous man. And then what happened when I didn't become a righteous man? And it was interesting because as soon as Reverend Knight was teaching this and he gave that definition, I understood exactly what he meant. Like it was like that light bulb, that missing puzzle piece, and I saw the big picture. And when I saw that big picture, I was like, holy shit, he's right. Like everything I've been studying from a psychological point of view just started connecting together. And I was like, yo, because like even now with me being able to purchase land, I'm going to start building next year. All of these things, it's not coming from me being lucky. I started becoming a righteous man again. I started thinking correctly about myself. What did I want? So like the last 2 years from 2022 up to 2024, I'm going to be honest with you, I was lost. If you've been seeing the channel, like if you've been following me since I got into Africa, like I wasn't able to find and settle roots. One of the things that I kept saying to myself in a joking manner, I am homeless. And I'm not homeless. Like that's the funny thing about it. Like even when you're saying things in a joking manner, you have to be cautious of what you're saying. Your life is not a joke. My life is not a joke. And until I started saying like, I'm ready to settle down. Like I need a home base. I want a home base. I desire a home base. And then guess what? Zambia opened up for me. You know, it literally came out of nowhere. Hey, here's a country. I went here. I got the visa within a month. And I got permanent residency. And then I started thinking more about what do I want about my life? What do I want for my life? What do I want my life to be? What is the legacy that I want when I choose to finally leave this place also and go home? And when I say go home, go back to the spirit realm. Be with Chantel and everybody else that I love that's there. And that's when all of these things started opening up. When I first started looking at land, I'd say the first 3 or 4 things I ran across, they were scams. Some of them were big scams, some were a little bit smaller scams, but they were scams at the end of the day. But I kept being focused. I kept trying to stay in a righteous state. Now, I was doing this unawarely. And think about it in your life. When have you really accomplished something that you wanted? What was your state of being? What was your state of mind at that time? Were you in a righteous state of mind? And what I mean by state of mind is, was your conscious mind? Okay, let me break this down first. I need to do a video about this real deep. When most people hear mind, M-I-N-D, they think of the brain. Your brain is not your mind. Your brain is like the switchboard. It's the network. It connects everything and from the spiritual to the physical, also with your heart. However, your mind is three different things. It is part of the Holy Trinity. You have your conscious mind, which uses our senses, eyes, smell, taste, hear, and touch. That is our conscious mind. This is everything that we visualize in front of us. Everything that we perceive that is in front of us is our conscious mind. Then we have our unconscious mind, or the subconscious mind. And the reason why I use unconscious is because now with some of the modern teachings in school, they're calling it unconscious. However, I like to use subconscious. So in case someone out there is using unconscious, that's why I use that. But I will refer to it as the subconscious mind. It is below. It is that part of the mind where God speaks to us, or the Creator speaks to us. Allah, if you're someone who practices Islam, and whatever deity each other religion practice. So let me just say this too. I'm using a Christian point of view because that's what I grew up and I was programmed into. So that's my natural words that I'm using. And so that's why I wanted to just say Creator also. So that is how you speak to the Creator, through your subconscious mind. You speak it through your feelings. Feelings are a state of being. Now, the third part of the mind is your body. It is the whole human body, the whole vessel that you're in, the temple. This is why I say it's the Holy Trinity. Once you use your conscious mind to ignore everything that's around you, and then you get into the feeling of your subconscious mind, your physical body will move through divine inspiration into the part that it needs to go to. This is one of the ways I believe I ended up coming to Zambia. This is one of the ways I know that I've been able to find land and do different things and be able to find the right people that are trustworthy in doing things correctly. And this is also how I was able to lose over 200 kilograms when I first started my weight loss journey. And you're finna start seeing now how because now I'm getting back into that righteous state of mind, I'm getting back into moving. This is one of the other things I don't talk about a lot because I'm embarrassed about it. I'm gonna be honest with you. All that hard work I did, even though after CC Pass I stopped being plant-based and I moved to a vegan diet. Technically, I'm not vegan. That's not the lifestyle that I like. I'm not even gonna go into deep about the difference between vegan and plant-based. At the end of the day, I still do not eat animal products. However, vegan does not mean healthy. This is why I've gained so much weight. And because I stopped moving, my body was not moving within the divine Trinity. My conscious mind was just seeing lack and limitation of shit. All of this hard work we were doing, CC ended up passing away, transitioning on me. Then I was really questioning myself, what was it for? What was it? All the hard work we accomplished, what was it for? Just for her to leave like that, it's traumatizing, man. Trauma don't go away. And even healing from trauma doesn't mean you forget who you once were. This is one of the biggest things. I think a lot of people think trauma means you forget everything. You don't relive those emotions. Trauma is trauma. You just become a different person who knows how to handle that traumatic incident a little better. And I would like to think now I'm in a place where I can handle incidents like that better in case I ever come across it again. And so, because my Holy Trinity was not focused on health, happiness, and wealth, I lost my retirement. Everything went downhill. We can blame the Biden administration, everything, but at the end of the day, I wasn't doing my job of looking for the signs. I wasn't happy anymore. I was in a horrible, horrible mood. I was deeply depressed, deeply, deeply traumatized. I'm not going to lie about it. And also, I wasn't healthy anymore. I was eating a bunch of junk food. Vegan does not mean healthy. This is one of the biggest things a lot of people don't get. Being vegan don't make you healthy. Most vegans are as unhealthy as people who eat meat. I'm just going to be real with you. And I know there may be some vegans who get mad at that, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. You can live in denial or live in the truth, but it's your choice to live in whichever one you want. And so now that I'm getting back into that righteous mind, I'm thinking correctly about myself. I have weights now in the house. I have a smartwatch. I just walked, I walked 13,000 steps. I say about Of the 13,000, I think I walked 11,000 because, risk moving, cooking, and all of that. I got back to cooking for myself to eat more healthier. All of these different things that I'm doing now, and it's because I'm thinking correctly about who I want to be as Jason. How do I want to show up? What do I want to achieve in life? And so I just wanted to really share that, because if you really want to reach the dreams and the goals that you have to become a righteous man or woman, or just a righteous person. Like, you have to think correctly about yourself. And this is something modern education does not teach us. They're teaching us to be so focused on everybody else. Oh, you need to be selfish. You need to be selfish. If you really read a lot of these passages in different religious texts, they're telling us to be selfish. What do you want? Like, what's the one when the blind man came to Jesus and Jesus asked him, what do you want? Even though he could see that man was blind, what do you want? You may like being blind. You may like having a heightened sense of your other senses. But Jesus asked him, what do you want? And he had to make a decision on what he wanted. And that's the same for each and every last one of us. We have to start thinking correctly about, what do we want? We have to stop caring about what other people are doing with their lives. We have to stop caring about what we want for other people. You may want the best for someone, but who's to say it's the best for them? The only person who can know what's best for them is that individual making the decision for themselves. And so really think about it. Like, from now, we have 7 days into the new year? Like, what do you want for 2025? Where do you want your life to go? What do you want to do? How do you want to be happy? Like, start thinking about those things now. And don't just think and keep them in your head. Write it down. Just jot it down on little sticky notes, put it somewhere, write it down in a journal. Like, I have journals all over the house. I have little books like this. I have other formal journals, everything. And when I have these thoughts and ideas, I write them down. Like, even sometimes when I'm wanting to do videos and just be like, how can I be more inspirational? How can I show up better on this YouTube channel? I write it down. And then you know what happened? I may go meditate and things just start coming to me, and I'll write those things down. And that's how I get notes. That's how I come up with a lot of these different videos. It's through divine inspiration. I like to say my prayer and then listen. Just sit still and listen to the answer, and then write that answer down, and then start talking it through. Like, sometimes I just talk it through on the video. It may be just one little title I have or a couple of bullets. And then as I'm talking, doing these videos, it's just coming out. And so really take the time to do that in these next 7 days before January 1st hit. Because one of the biggest misconceptions is we're supposed to start our New Year's resolution on New Year's. Remember how I said earlier, the present and the past don't exist. You just have right now. So you have to start it right now. This is when your resolution actually starts. Right now, this moment. And just commit to it. And so if you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below. I'll get back with you. Any other topics like this that you want me to cover, just let me know in the comments. And I'll do more videos on this. I love doing psychological studies. Psychology is the study of self. I think that's something we all should be in love with, studying ourselves, studying our habits. And this is how we can start changing our paradigms, which change our attitude, which all together will influence our identity. Remember, like I always say, ego is not the enemy. Our identities that we hold on to and refuse to change are the things that are stopping us from getting to the next level. So I'm just going to end the video here. Have a great Christmas. I will put out a video. I'm either put out a video tomorrow or I'm going to go live. I haven't made up my mind yet. Let me know in the comments if you want me to go live or if you want me to just put out a video. And then I'll just see how things looking in the comments. But most importantly, just remember this. I'm Jason, and success is simple once you know how.